Our Sport Management 302 project is on golf courses. I will be talking about the unique components of golf courses as well as unique construction processes of golf courses. There are 5 major components of a golf course. These are as follow: the tee box, fairway, green, rough, and hazards. A hole begins at the tee box. This spot can also be called the teeing ground. In order for the player to get a clean drive from the tee, this spot needs to be a flat surface. Generally, there are multiple tee boxes at a hole, so that the starting point may vary depending on the ability and experience of any given golfer. Once you set up at the tee box, your objective is going to be to drive the ball into the fairway. The fairway is a closely mowed area that stretches between the tee and the green. The fairway can be between 30 and 50 yards wide. Should you have a poor drive, your shot may land in the rough. The rough is composed of long grass and lines the fairway. Because of the longer grass, it is more difficult for a golfer to hit the ball with accuracy. The length of the rough will vary between courses. Do your best to avoid hazards. These are obstacles on a course that make golfing trickier. The 2 types of hazards on a golf course are water hazards and bunkers. A bunker is a sand pit that will usually line the fairway or green. Should you accidentally put your ball in a bunker, you will have to hit the ball from the spot where the ball stops. Getting the ball out of the bunker will require you to attempt chipping the ball into the air and onto the green or fairway. Water hazards will either line the outside of a given hole, marked in red, or sit somewhere between the tee box and green, marked in yellow. This type of hazard can show itself in an array of ways. It can be a creek, river, pond, lake, or even ocean. If your ball lands in the water, you will lose a stroke for picking up the ball and placing it on land. Where you drop your ball depends on what water hazard, red or yellow, it landed in. At the end of each hole is the green. Because the green is where the hole is located, golfers will need to putt. The grass is cut very short. The green will have varying condition and contour to affect how the ball will roll as it is hit toward the hole. The design and build of your golf course is composed of 9 steps. The first step is project feasibility. Before jumping headfirst into your project, it is important to make sure that the project is going to be possible. Are you going to be able to fund this project? Although the development of courses varies in cost, you can expect to spend at least $2 million on average. It is smartest to bring together a group of experts to decide the feasibility of your project together. In this group, it is important to discuss market analysis, feasibility, and economic impact. In your market analysis, identify who your target markets are going to be and research the history of compelling golf courses in your area. When looking into the feasibility, make sure that you understand the financial viability, cost of construction and operation, and the type of facility you would like. Finally, discuss economic impacts such as your area, taxes, and opportunities for employment. The second step of building your course is to choose an architect. Make sure that when you are picking an architect, you pick one who sees the golf course as more than just landscaping or a big construction project. It is a skilled profession and an art form. Step 3 is selecting your site. Criteria for selecting your site should include economic and physiographical criteria. How much is the site going to cost, and what natural opportunities and constraints are involved? Natural opportunities and constraints could be water, vegetation, topography, and soils. Also, you need to know the size and shape of your property as well as get an idea of the possible off-site issues such as noise, odors, and views. The next step is land planning. This requires vision. With a vision in place for what the course will look like, a team of professionals will meet to create a strategy for development. The 5th step in course construction is obtaining land entitlements. You will need these before your project can become a reality. The 6th step is financing. This is necessary for land acquisition, consultant and permitting work, and construction. Some popular ways of financing are equity loans, mortgages, and seller financing. Creating construction documents is the 7th step. Make sure that every team member is familiar with the documents and that your drawings are accurate and easy to understand. In step 8, you will begin construction. Make sure that everything that you do in this step is done right, because what is done is done. Follow your construction documents closely and carefully. During this process, your architect and builder should be in close and constant contact. The final step will be maintenance. Just because your course is finished being built does not mean your job is done. Make sure that your fairways, greens, roughs, and tee boxes are all mowed properly and that your bunkers are maintained.
Thank you for the facility components and the construction processes. I will be talking to you about the standards and regulations and the interaction between play and design. Under standards and regulations, the Department of Justice requires that all golf courses apply to Americans with Disabilities Act. These things include connected pathways from the parking lots, backdrops, clubhouses, pro shops, any practice facilities, the golf course itself, and any restrooms. The pathway must be 48 inches wide. Also, there must be at least one practice range, or 5% of the practice ranges must be handicap accessible. In addition to these, there must be at least one accessible entrance to each putting green. Also, there has to be an accessible entrance to the teeing boxes on each hole. At this time, there are no requirements for accessibility to bunkers. When it comes to course regulations, there are different types of courses that have their own individual course lengths and styles and types of play. On an 18-hole course, it averages a par of 72. Also, it has an average length of 6,000 to 7,500 meters. Typically, with the pars, it's between 3 and 5, but every now and then a few courses will have a par 6. Also, it typically requires between 140 and 180 acres of land. On a 9-hole course, it is the same regulations such as par 3s and par 5s, except for just cut in half instead of being an 18-hole course. On par 3 courses, every hole is a par 3, making the course a lot shorter and a lot faster to play. There is also what they call an approach course. It is the shortest style of courses where you only play to practice pitching and chipping and putting. The length of these holes could range anywhere between 30 and 100 yards. Oftentimes, these courses are used for beginners to practice. The different style of courses lead into the interaction between play and design. When it comes to design, the size of the fairway, depths of the rough, woods, other plants, water, and sand traps all have an effect on the play. When it comes to the size of the fairway, it could lead into hitting into the rough, which if the rough is too deep, then it can also be hard to hit out of the rough. Also, when it comes to woods and other plants, they can be in the way, and if you get stuck in them, it's hard to get out. When it comes to water hazards and sand traps, they are always a difficult situation to be in, because if you hit it into the water, you have to take a drop penalty, and which adds on more strokes. And when you hit into the sand trap, you have to play out of the sand, which is difficult for some players. The design that people may not think is a huge effect on the way that one plays is where a par is placed, meaning par 3, par 4, par 5. Well, some of the par 4s are a lot longer than others, so it affects the play of whether or not you par or bogey or even birdie. Also, when it comes to some of the older courses, they don't have access for golf carts to be on the field themselves, just cart paths along the side of the field. When it comes to professional play, professionals must walk, which slows down the pace of the game, and also puts fatigue into the players. There's one particular case that gave exception to a player to be able to use a cart. This is Casey Martin. Casey Martin suffered a birth defect in his leg known as Klippel-Trenaunay-Weber syndrome that caused severe pain and fatigue. This fatigue that he gains is a lot faster than most other professional golfers. So him using a cart will actually not affect his play, because the little that he walks will fatigue him just as much as other professional golf players would as the entire course of the game. This walking causes fatigue in players so that their performance slows down and they don't do as well when it comes to the end of a round. To end with, it is proven that all courses do not have the same rate of play, and design and routing of the golf course determines the time of the play.
I will be talking about the safety and risk management aspects of golf, as well as the equipment involved in golf. In regards to safety and risk management, there are many things that could go wrong during the sport of golf, just like there are many things that can go wrong with any kind of sport. Some of the risks that come along with golf courses include golf cart accidents and people, equipment, or buildings being struck by a golf ball, as well as many other things. There also should be major risk management precautions in place when construction of the golf course and clubhouse is taking place. In some cases, golf carts may malfunction, which could cause accidents. Also, drivers may become involved in accidents between two or more carts. Furthermore, the sport of golf involves hitting a hard, small, round ball for hundreds of yards in order to score in a small hole. This action in itself can cause harm to people passing by along the golf course, as well as other golfers, by them being struck with the golf ball. For this reason, many precautions have been put into place by a number of golf courses. Some of these precautions include signage along the golf course for players, spectators, and people passing by. These signs warn the participants and spectators to beware of incoming golf balls. They also may remind people to stand back when others are swinging their golf club, as well as warn nearby traffic that they are driving near a golf course, because they have the potential of being struck by an incoming ball. Another risk management factor is to prevent participants from hitting golf balls into another group that is golfing in front of them. A group should make sure that the group in front of them is finished with a specific hole and is completely clear out of the way before they begin hitting. Even more so, the clubhouse within a golf course must also have signage to try and prevent things like slips and falls within their facilities. Clubhouses should also have security cameras and locks on their doors as well as windows to potentially prevent theft, among other crimes within their facility. Next, they should control the alcohol that guests consume by trying to prevent people from overdrinking. Some ways of doing this are to have the bartender or waiter look for signs of drunkenness. Some of these signs would include slurred speech, pupil dilation, slow reaction and response time, and trouble keeping their balance, among other things. Additionally, the clubhouse could put a cap on the amount of alcoholic drinks that they would serve their customers each day. Among these safety and risk management precautions lie many more, but these are some of the main safety risks that a golf course should stress to control the safety of their golfers. Next, I will be talking about the equipment involved in golf. There are many different types of equipment within a golf course, and some of these include golf carts, golf clubs, tees, balls, flags for the holes, lawnmowers, sprinklers, rakes for bunkers, trash cans, weed whackers, and many other equipment pieces. In regards to a golfer's equipment, many golfers will carry around a bag with golf clubs as well as use a cart that they rent from the facility. Some of the more popular brands among golfers include Taylor and Callaway. However, like other sports, there are many different brands that create a vast amount of equipment for golfers, including broader brands like Nike and Adidas. Some golfers will prefer a certain brand of shoe that does not match the brand on their shirt or golf club, while other golfers will prefer to use one brand from head to toe. When speaking about the golf course facilities, lawnmowers, weed whackers, flagpoles for the holes, rakes for the bunkers, trash cans, recycling bins, tables, chairs, and many other kinds of equipment will be used. Many clubhouses will also sell golfing equipment for individuals to purchase. These types of equipment are necessary to keep the course clean-cut and beautiful, as well as to make money. Each facility will be different in the way that they sell these items, but most will carry extra golfing equipment in case golfers are missing essential pieces or simply want to improve their golf equipment collection. Golf carts are often rented out by the facility as an extra way to make money and save time for golfers. Some of these items are essential to the sport of golf, while others are extra accessories that golfers can choose to utilize. Either way, golf is a game that includes many different equipment pieces and is good to learn about and possibly utilize each one.